A Milwaukee jury found the Badger gun store liable in the shooting of two police officers. Those officers sued Badger Guns, claiming the store was negligent in selling a firearm which was later used against them. The lawsuit has helped reignite gun debate in the presidential campaign. Adriana Diaz has more on this news.
Officers Graham Kunich and Brian Norberg approached 18-year-old Julius Burton in 2009 for riding a bike on the sidewalk. A struggle ensued. Burton pulled out a gun and shot both officers in the face. Kunich lost an eye and had to have part of his brain removed. Norberg was shot in the mouth. Bullet fragments are still lodged in his cheek.
How often are you having that pain on the right side of your face?
Right now it is, every day.
Surveillance video shows Burton with a friend at Badger Guns a month before the shooting. He paid the friend $40 to buy a gun for him because he was underage. Store clerk Donald Flora appears to help the friend fill out the paperwork. Flora told jurors he was unaware it was an illegal sale known as a straw purchase.
The last thing we want to do is put a gun in somebody's hands that's going to commit a crime.
During closing arguments, Patrick Dunphy, the officer's attorney, said the store shares responsibility.
If Badger Guns had done its job on May 2nd, then Brian and Graham would not have been shot on June 9th.
And Adriana joins me now. Let me ask you, why did prosecutors say, or the officers, when they were suing the gun store, say the gun store should have known the sale was illegal?
These two officers claim that there was negligence on behalf of the gun store. They say that the gun store should have picked up on the clues that this was a straw purchase or an illegal sale where one person buys a gun for someone else who's not eligible to buy it themselves. In this case, the person who was underage, who ended up being the shooter, went into the store with a friend of his who he paid to buy the gun for him. Apparently, he even pointed out the gun that he wanted, and when the friend was filling out the paperwork, he initially marked that the gun was for a friend, and then changed his answer, saying it was for himself. So the attorneys of the officers are saying that the gun store should have been aware, should have picked up on these clues and known that it was an illegal purchase.
There was even an allegation that the store clerk was helping them, prompting the guy who was filling in the questions, right?
Exactly. They actually say that the store clerk, a gentleman named Donald Flora, said to the friend who was buying the gun, look, you actually wrote this was for someone else. Is that what you want to write? Or something to that degree. He basically pointed out this section of the paperwork and identified to him that this was something he could change if he wanted to, and the friend didn't change that.
Well, talk a little bit about what the jury found for damages for these two police officers, both who were shot.
The first officer, Graham Kunich, he's the gentleman who lost an eye after this ordeal. He's been awarded $3.5 million. He initially sought $7 million. Now, these are damages that will cover past health care, future health care, past work that was lost. Officer Kunich isn't working anymore as a police officer. He's retired and left the force. The second officer, Brian Norberg, received $1.2 million, or perhaps a little bit more than that, $1.5 million. He was initially seeking $2.1 for the same reasons. And I was in the courtroom when he was on the stand, and he gave a very emotional testimony talking about how this has affected him emotionally. At one point, he was suicidal.
There are a lot of questions about how this case will affect not only the conversation about responsibility for illegal guns, but also the court cases to come.
Absolutely. Right now, there are 6 cases similar to this one that are pending. And it's unusual that a case like this one will get to a jury trial, because in 2005, Congress, with bipartisan support, increased protections for gun stores and gun manufacturers against civil liability in cases where individuals try to seek damages for harm caused by the illegal use or the criminal use of their products. So it's rare that a case like this will get this far, and the verdict in this case may impact the future pending cases.
The gun store is going to appeal, I'm assuming. Do you have any?
Legal experts expect this to appeal. So the real question in terms of how this will stand in the history books is how this does on appeal.
Okay, Adriana, thank you.